Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap Podcast.com. I am your host, Stefan.
Oh, he has become robotic. I am your host, Martin.
And how you been doing, Martin?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah? Anything exciting happened recently?
Beer.
Beer has happened recently.
Beer has happened and will happen.
That's true, because we are on the What's on Tap podcast. Podcast.
And
it's a podcast.
And we have two beers in front of us.
We do. So no change there.
Today, Stefan let me do the very fun exercise where he said, Martin, go into my beer fridge and pick two beers that you would like to drink. So I did.
You did. And you picked a couple of hopeful winners. Some real bangers, as they say.
Yeah.
That's what the cool kids are saying these days.
Or the cool kids are saying.
They are saying this. So first up, we have the Broz... What is it?
Broz Broz Night Night.
Broz Broz Night Night.
By the Veil.
Yep. It comes in at an 8%. It is a double dry hopped, double IPA.
The reason I picked it was because it was standing upside down. I think you've started doing that with several
right. So
IPAs.
because hazy IPAs for me and a lot of these new fruited sours, which contain so much stuff in the can, right? What I've started doing is I started storing them upside down, so that way all of the stuff in the bottom of the can gets redistributed through the can itself. So that way when you flip it back over to pour it, it all is more equally distributed, and it kind of solves that you should roll the can issue.
Exactly.
Because I don't think the roll the can thing really redistributes whatever the funk in the can is adequately. But if you flip it upside down, then a lot of that stuff resettles to the top of the can, and then when you flip it back over to pour it
settles down while you're talking,
right?
pouring.
And then while you're pouring, the air oxygenates it, and then also shuffles things around. So I feel like it creates a better experience, and you get more of the original concept of what the brewer's going for.
And I completely buy this explanation, but this can was still readable in its upside down state because the name of the beer is upside down. Is this some international phenomenon of turning hazy IPAs upside down that I am the last one to learn about?
I maybe could be
because the label is correct when the can is upright.
Exactly.
But the name of the beer is meant to be read while it's sitting upside.
I think it's also a reference to Stranger Things.
Oh, it's
it's the upside down. In case you missed the four kids on
absolutely 100% the kids from Stranger Things.
Yes.
I didn't
minus 11. 11's not one of the selected kids.
Because the Veil hates women.
Were they one of the brewers?
I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think they were named in the big sex scandal.
Yeah. I thought that was Tired Hands. I'm sorry. I can't remember all of the breweries. There's so many breweries.
So many brewers.
But anyway, moving on. We won't dwell on that.
I know I didn't see the people on the label because it was upside down.
It just threw you off completely.
Yes,
I understand. But no. So my advice, and this is completely a professional advice that is telling you how to properly store your beers. If you get these hazy New England IPAs and you're going to have them for more than, say, a week, flip them upside down. And then all of that fun sediment and flavoring that's in the bottom of the can will get more equally redistributed. Especially so the most egregious version of this was I went to a local sandwich shop, casual street food, which makes really good hamburgers, and they brought out this Untitled Arts fruit beer of some sort. I think it was Untitled Arts and I think Polo collaboration beer. Well, it had set so long that because in Sweden you can't serve a beer unless it's been opened. So they always open the beer for you.
Yep.
So when I got the beer and we poured it in the glass, it was rather light and thin looking. But by the time we poured the last half of the beer, it was thick and chunky.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if you had stored it upside down, all of that content would have evenly distributed through the whole of the can.
Yes.
And you wouldn't get two entirely different beer experiences.
And because they opened the can for you, you had no way of solving this issue.
And we didn't even know that was how the beer was supposed to look, because when you first started pouring it was very light and almost kind of watery. But then by the time you got to the bottom half of it, it was like fruit juice. It was so concentrate. So I just started like, you know what? I'm just gonna flip all of my IPAs from now on. All right, so Brozone, was it Broz Broz
Night Night.
Night Night. Very traditional, the Veil kind of hazy IPA.
Completely opaque.
Mm-hmm. Smells very sweet on the nose.
Yellowish. Yes.
Yellowish. Yeah.
Smells like a sweet IPA. Definitely. American style.
Yep. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's a pretty good one. It's very standard for
Yeah.
American hazy. It is a double IPA, right?
Yes. It's 8%. So it is a double dry hopped double IPA. It's not bad. It's good. It's
semi-fruity, semi-grassy, green flavor.
Yeah. I would say we're probably in the sweet spot for this beer. I can't really see when it was best before by, but I think it's in November 2021.
Yeah.
So that means it's probably...
It's brewed in the future.
Well, I mean, that's when it's best by, so it's probably just about a month after the brewing of it. It's good. The problem is it falls into that category of like, I feel like I've had this beer 100 times already.
We've had this discussion before, where you're getting kind of a New England fatigue.
I'm getting a little fatigued by these New England IPAs because the ones like when it works, I think it works amazing, but there's a lot of middle ground here.
Yes. I'm still in the. I can still drink a lot more. Oh, there's another beer. They have made both Broz Broz Night Night and Broz Broz Day Day.
Ah.
Just so you know.
Which one gets a higher rating?
I just want to say that this is a Citra double IPA.
Okay.
Does that make you like it more?
Nah, it makes no difference for me.
What?
Wait.
Broz Broz Night Night has a much higher average than Broz Broz Day Day, because Broz Broz Day Day is a regular IPA and this is a double IPA.
All right, so this gets a 4.31 overall on Untapped.
That is extremely high.
And yeah, it's very, very high. And a Broz Broz Day Day gets a 4.09. And I can only imagine what the Broz Broz Day Day tastes like. Because this is kind of a perfunctory New England IPA. I mean, it's good. Well, I remember having it. Is it 4.31 good? I don't think so. For me, this is just a standard run-of-the-mill hazy New England IPA.
Yes.
I don't think the Citra hops are particularly sparkling or fresh or outstanding. Or
I love Citra hops, and I would not have been able to tell you that this was a Citra double IPA. So there has to be some other forces at play here.
Yeah. I think I'm ready to roll on this one. For me, this is a weak 3.75.
Ooh, it's a week 4 for me. Once again, we're 0.25 apart.
I can almost give it a 3.5 simply because it's drinkable. It's not a bad beer. But if I was to line this up against, say, a Steve Brigette's Amazing Haze, I would probably go with Steve Brigette's Amazing Haze.
Fair enough.
Or the Steve Brigette's, what's the one with the two-headed seagull?
Oh, right. I forget.
It's a double dry hopped double IPA as well.
Nice.
Which I thought was quite a phenomenal beer. I get why people like this, but there's nothing special here. It's just another double dry hop double IPA and a long line of double dry hop double IPAs.
Fair enough.
But it takes me back to, again, the question of, is it worth the excess to import something like this when you can find beers just as good as this in the EU?
I mean, we're tickers. We need the next tick.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I completely agree with ticking, but I think I'm personally going to start looking more within maybe Spain, Italy, Belgium. I wish we could get more stuff from the UK, because really the UK is where the New England haze craze is like the most amazing.
But Brexit's kind of messed it up.
Really screwed a lot of stuff up. I'm not going to lie.
But I have an English question. Because now when I search for the Vale Broz whatever, a lot of their beer series came up. It's Broz Night Out. Then we have Broz Night Out squared. That's with the 2, right? To the
power of 2.
Yes. Yeah. And then there was to the power of 3, which is cubed, right? Then there was the power of 4. What would you say? What's the word for to the power of 4? Squared? Cubed?
It's cubed.
No, that's 3. It's absolutely 100%
definitely 3. Yeah.
So what's 4? I have now. And with that, we move on to the next beer.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
In which we will never return to that question. No. All right, so today we have a AF Brewing in Lervig. So we've got something a little from Russia, a little from Norway.
2 breweries I like.
I really like both of these breweries.
That's why I picked this beer.
It's also why I picked this beer.
Because you bought it, but I picked it. So I get all the credit, I feel.
Yes. And this is called Year of Fear. It's a claustrophobic Imperial Stout aged in Kentucky barrels.
And I want to know what a claustrophobic Imperial Stout is.
Well, I think when you taste this, you will know. Or you can try to read any of the text on that. It is not for my eyes. That is extremely...
Lobotomidae. Nazdravya. It's in Russian. Lobotomy Day is not just a yearly ball for all the champions and queens of the craft beer scene. It is the time and place of birth of collaborations. Top notch of the brewing art when an off-the-wall beer sprouts of collision of various schools and practices, table talks and funny give and takes. You're holding one of the 5 beers from the pilot season of Lobodey Collabs. Pretty cool.
I'm impressed by your on-the-spot translation of Russian. That was really good.
I needed to for the show.
I know. I did not realize you were so fluent in Russian.
Sometimes you just gotta step up to the plate and deliver.
You do. You delivered hard.
I always do.
Yeah, that's what she said.
So this one is pitch black, tar black. Oh. When I swirl it around, it gives a tiny cappuccino colored foam ring.
I know, but there's a nice oiliness to the glass itself.
Yes.
This looks really good. It smells
like Kentucky Bourbon Barrels.
It smells
stout.
Like burnt malts or like dark roasted malts and Kentucky Bourbon Barrels, and
this is gonna be
it smells really, really good.
It's gonna be a treat.
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
There's one thing we love Lervig for. It is their stouts.
They're thick stouts.
They do really, really good.
Oh, this is good.
Thick stouts, yeah. And AF, we've mostly been trying their IPAs.
And their fruit beers.
Yeah, a lot of their fruit beers. So many fruit beers.
Yes.
This might be one of the first stouts we've had from them. I don't have to look that up.
Yeah. But what I immediately get from this, apart from a slight bourbon flavor and a slight barrel flavor, it's quite slight. It's there and it's good. But I get caramel.
There's a lot of sweet caramel on this.
good. It's a very good flavor note in this particular stout. Some sweet stouts become diabetes. This one is on the good side of that demarcation line.
Yeah, I think this comes in at a 4.3 ABV.
No.
14.3, I'm sorry.
That's way more like it.
Sorry, I didn't
4.3, sure.
Yes, it's a session stout, barrel aged. I think just the barrel aging alone would keep it over 4%.
Likely. Nah, the barrel aging rarely brings more than a percentage or two.
True, but if you started out at a 2% ABV,
fair enough.
To add barrel aging, because the alcohol, the beer will absorb some of the alcohol from the wood itself.
I've had several AF Imperial Stouts.
No, look at me, I made everything.
But where did I have them? That's the... Oh, I actually had them on can. Not on a beer festival. This is just gluttonous. Me and Pontus shared Dark Side of the Overhype by Brew together.
I think we see who your best friend is now. I thought it was me, but apparently there's other people that...
It's always been all of the beer friends except you.
No, obviously, yeah.
No. No, but let's hear. Big Black Mash. I want us to have had an Imperial Stout together.
Nope.
Yeah! You and I shared AF Brew Winter Melancholy together here in your very house.
And I think I brought it.
The photo we're looking at now is the worst photo I've ever taken. It's blurry and it's on the back of the can.
Well, to be fair, it kind of matches most
I
of the
just
photos.
want to say, AF Brew, they provide a lot of Imperial Stouts, and we've had them. Not only we've had them together.
At least once.
Yes.
No. I think AF Brewing does. I think for me, they're one of my favorite Russian breweries.
Yes.
They've done some really good stuff in the past, and I expect them to do really good stuff in the future. And then when I saw they were teaming up with Lervig to create a beer, I was just like, I mean, how can this be bad? Because Lervig does really good stuff, and I think that their dark beers are great.
But it's interesting you mention it, because I also remember AF Brew from IPAs and fruit sours. I don't remember. I've given a lot of their stouts 4.5s, so I should remember them as an amazing stout brewery. But that's not the first thing that pops into my mind.
No, it's a lot of fruit beers.
Yeah,
I think, or maybe we're conflating them with Zagovar.
No,
because Zagovar also does a lot of fruit beers and a lot of IPAs. Yeah, I think they're both from St. Petersburg, aren't they?
I should know Zagovar better than I do. Because my favorite, never mind. My favorite Berlin beer bar, Protocol, the owner is friends with the Zagovar brewers, so Protocol in Berlin is a good place to always drink Zagovar.
Yeah.
But now that I know more of my ratings on historical AF beers, I'm not surprised at all that Lervig and AF Brew found each other at one of these brewer parties and started collaborating and resulting in this beer.
Yeah, no, this beer is truly good. I don't know what makes it claustrophobic, but I'm not feeling claustrophobic at all.
I'm scared. You should be. I'm always scared near Stefan. If any listener is listening, help keeping me locked up with no food or water.
Shh. Drink your beer and be quiet. It's like a nice richness, a little spiciness to it. I really like this beer.
And when you say spiciness, I don't think you mean chili. You mean like
no. I mean like
spiciness. Like, not
I'm
really,
getting like a little
really cinnamon, but in that direction.
Exactly. It's like there's spices in this kind of, and I feel like there's a little bit of a cinnamony kind of flavor. Maybe a little
cardamom.
Yeah, cardamom. Maybe a little bit of a licoriceiness to it, but very, very subtle.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by the spiciness to it. I don't want to say herbal or herbal because there's a fucking H. But I think it's very drinkable. It's very good. So I'm going to give it a 4.25.
Oh, I am at a strong 4.5. I thought you were going to say 4.75, and I would have to reevaluate.
I was about to give it a 4.5.
It deserves a 4.5.
You know
Come on.
Yep, I'll give it a 4.5. It's really, really good. You're right.
It's very seldom that I manage to convince you to change a rating. But with this beer...
I was really on the fence. I was really torn between 4.25 and 4.5. And I took the low road, not the high road, which is what I normally do as a high road. But yeah, I think this one is really good.
The aftertaste also lingers for a long time, and it doesn't change its flavor. It doesn't turn into something else. Where sometimes with some sours and IPAs, the aroma the flavor is so good, and then it turns into something else, and you go, oh, now maybe I need to drink some more to clean my palate again.
Well, what's so crazy is the mouthfeel isn't super rich. It's light, it's sweet, it drinks very clean for a 14% ABV beer, and you just don't even realize like how good it is as you keep drinking it, because it's just so quaffable, as they say. Like, it's a very easy drinking beer. And thanks to the sugariness of it, it's not to say it's syrupy, but there is a sweet aftertaste to it.
Yes, because to refine I don't think it's light by the imagination, but it's definitely not oily.
Right, and it's like by saying light is oily. It's
thick but not oily.
Exactly. So it drinks very clean.
Yeah.
And you get sweetness, and you get the richness, and you get a little notes of cinnamon and other flavors going on. Man, this is just a really rewarding beer all the way around.
I'm really happy your bridge.
Me too. I mean, I knew we'd drink it together, but something to try on the show.
I really am the best.
That's what I always said. Best around. No one's ever gonna put you.
Keep you.
Yeah, whatever.
When did you see Karate Kid last time?
What are they about?
The 80s?
Sure.
You haven't rewatched Karate Kid?
Maybe in the 90s, but I guarantee you I have
shocked.
not seen it since the early 90s. Although I can tell you that John T. Alverson directed that.
Ooh.
And
some film knowledge.
He also directed...
I don't know.
Rocky.
He did?
He did.
Those are the same director?
Same director.
It makes so much sense.
And he directed another film that I can't remember right now. Also basically the exact same film. But John G. Alverson had a thing where he was doing these like underdog sports films, and so he did like 3 or 4 of them in a row, and they were all just like really popular films.
To be fair, Johnny Lawrence is the good guy of Karate Kid.
Sure. All right, so this wraps up Karate Kid talk. Until next time, you can find us on what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you can find fine quality podcast. Until next time,
keep drinking, you dum-dums.